I think he's a big talker. But I don't think he believes the things that he's saying. He's the Fury family puppet, right? Tyson and John both were real fighters, real boxers, real dogs. And Tommy feels like he has to live up to that. So he's saying the things that they say. But I don't think he believes it. I don't think he believes in himself. And he's going to be in for a rude awakening. And he's going to hate this sport after I'm done with him.
Jake Paul, you're a number one pussy. And you will not fight me because you know how it's going to go. Get in the ring in February and you will see. I'm going to destroy you. And you've looked into my eyes tonight and I'm looking straight down the camera now. I will destroy you.
Definitely. And I think it will. This is his first main event. This is his first 8-round fight. This is his first time going in against someone who's undefeated. So a lot of things that he has to face for the first time. And I think the nerves are definitely going to get to him. I don't think he's been tested in a fight. And I'm going to test him. And we're going to see how he deals with the whole entire situation. But I don't think it's going to be good for him.
Jake Paul got problems right here, you know. So, I mean, he's doing good for what he's doing, you know. Like I said, for what he's doing. I mean, it is what it is. He's just a lot of talk. It's different when you're at the highest level, and Roy Jones can contest to that. Clarissa and so many other fighters. You know, once you get in there with a real fighter that can really fight, it's going to be over.
I hate to say it. I think Jake will win it. I think Tommy hasn't really been tested. Well, I think he's been tested a few times chin-wise, and he has been a bit wobbly. And I just think Jake has just dedicated more time into the training compared to Tommy. I think Tommy just does the boxing because it's the thing to do in his family, but I don't think he's as dedicated as someone like Tyson or his other brothers. So yeah, I think Jake will win that, as much as I hate to say it.
So I have to go Jake Paul. You know, I don't know. I mean, you start believing the hype of Jake Paul. Like when I was around him for the Taylor Serrano fight, he would actually say to me, like off camera, I'll beat Canelo. And I'm like, I'm looking for a camera. So his belief is, unfoundering. So we'll see.
Thank you. John, there are people, pundits within boxing, that think Jake Paul does beat Tommy Fury. Your words to them.
Don't rile me up, mate. Do not rile me up. Because I don't want to get riled with you. All them people, come and tell me that Jake Paul can beat him, and I'll give you a sore ear on them. They're talking shite. Shit talk. End of this interview, yeah?
I don't have a breakdown, but I'll say Jake Paul on points. I don't have a breakdown for the fight, but I think Jake Paul wins it on points. I don't see Tommy sleeping him, and I don't see Tommy getting a decision.
The right hand not big enough from Jake Paul to maybe stop Tommy?
Yeah, I guess, but Tommy could stop Jake as well. They both got power in their hands that's enough to stop the other guy. I just don't think it's going to happen.
That's a tough fight. It's going to be a 50-50, but I'm going to go for Tommy Fury.
And if you and Tommy Fury or Jake Paul were in the ring, what would happen?
I'll fight any of them, Tommy Fury or Jake Paul.
I recognize flake behavior when I see it, and after Tommy pulled his bullshit the first fight, like that was a convenient pull out for him because he didn't want to fight. And I told Jake that before he took the fight the second time, and I hate to say I told you so because it sucks, but like I told Jake that Tommy was going to do the same exact thing, and he did. It just sucks. It sucks that he wasted his time and energy on someone who's like destined to be a loser, and it is more of a shame that the loser has an older brother who is like one of the greatest boxers ever. Like, we love Tyson Fury, and Tommy's just such a pussy.
No, look, I was called in because with Tommy it was his dad and his brother couldn't go to America, so when that fight was on short notice going to America, look, me and Tommy got on well. He was on the Tyrone Woodley undercard, so was Daniel Dubois on the undercard of that. So he rang me up and he said, like, look, would you work my corner? And I said, look, come down, let's have a week together. And he came down, and I feel like he had a good jab, he had good feet, and that really is enough for to beat Jake Paul. In my eyes, a guy that's explosive, throws a good right hook over the top, but really leaves his feet behind him. He's not programmed to punch properly. Like, reasonably fast hands, and it's all like in rotation, but he doesn't move his feet and track and punch. It's just he's boxing guys that are static and standing there, you know. So yeah, I think if he sticks to the jab, gets himself moving, doesn't trade up with him, just busts him up in the jab for 3 or 4 rounds, then should beat him.
What's the level of disparity between the two in terms of boxing ability?
Well, understanding of boxing, you've got to say that Tommy Fury knows a lot more about boxing than Jake Paul, because he understands it. He's been around it. He knows he's seen it firsthand, what you have to do to win world title fights, and how you have to spar, and how you have to go through these training camps, and not just setting a ring up in your house and eating cereal or whatever, and then going and doing a little session, and then going out and making a YouTube video and going back doing another little session. Like, that's not how world champions train. At least he's been around a gym that knows what you need to do to win these fights. Jake Paul's a good athlete, and he's getting success through his athletic prowess, but not necessarily through his boxing technical ability. So it does lie in Tommy's favour.
Well, I fancy him. I mean, this is a, he's got a lot of pressure on him. They both got pressure on him. Jake fancies the fight. I mean, it's not like he wants that fight. He's driven us mad, and it's been difficult to keep it alive, but it's been kept alive. Mentioned George earlier. He's been constantly working with Jake's team and keeping the thing alive. And finally, as I say, they got it over the line. If he gets beat, I don't know. I mean, I've got, it depends how you get beat. It depends how it looks, depends what it happens. I think it'll be competitive. It will be competitive. And I think it'll be quite explosive to start, because somebody's going to try and impose themselves. They're going to both try and impose them. I don't think there'll be a lot of going out and feeling each other out. I think it'll be a real, a real bang up to start with.
Well, I mean,
if he gets beat, I don't know. We've got to, just have to regroup and see what he wants to do if he gets beat. But I'll have to say this: if he does get beat, then then that would be that is a problem as far as all of us are concerned, because obviously we wouldn't have taken this fight unless we felt he had the beating of Jake.
Interest in Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul?
Jake Paul, I think Jake Paul can fight. I think Jake Paul's not bad. I think Jake Paul will probably beat Tommy Fury. And Tommy Fury needs this more than Jake Paul does.
Shane trained Tommy Fury for about a week. He's now fighting Jake Paul.
Yes.
Do you watch that side? Do you think that Tommy has the assets to beat Jake Paul?
I think he's still a little immature. I would make Jake Paul a favourite, because he's been around the wildcard gym his whole life, and he's sparred with some of the best guys. He can punch. He's a good fighter. He's probably a bit too experienced for Tommy at the moment. Tommy's a nice kid, but just a little bit underschooled.